EA has had quite the battlefield this week, canceling multiple big mobile titles, some upcoming and unannounced games, and even a slight delay to the anticipated Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We'll talk about what's going on there.
And E3 is back this year, but without some of the biggest names in the industry. We'll talk about what this means for gaming's biggest showcase and much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. The best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're coming to you with all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. You can find us on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services everywhere, talking about games. My name is E-Rock the Red, joined every week by this guy right here. Full clip. What's the haps, my dude?
What's going on? I'm pretty good. How you doing?
Dude, I'm great. I got my booch. And just ready to talk about video games.
There you go. I got an equally healthy choice, Monster Energy. At least it's a zero sugar kind, but yeah, that's what I'll be sipping on. Yeah, it feels like forever since we've done this, and I mean, we're filming a couple days after we usually would, but I think that it's more about all the news that we've got to get through. There's a lot of stuff this time. There's
a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's like it's a big. We'll just come right out and say it. It's a big old bummer of a news week here, man. A lot of, lots of layoffs and things being affected by that. But big stuff happening. But yeah, before we get into that, you been playing anything cool?
You know, I haven't really played a lot new, but I did get into one that I know you did too, SpongeBob Cosmic Shake. And I think we'll probably be talking about that in our new releases.
Yes. Yeah, I played a little SpongeBob action. We'll save that for new releases. I haven't played much either, dude. A lot of SpongeBob, but definitely also a lot of Marvel Snap, dude. I'm back up in there. It ebbs and flows for me. So like sometimes I'll be, I won't play for a couple days and then I'll like play all day long.
Oh yeah.
And I had a couple of those days. They did an update, so they came out with a new feature where you could play against like your friends now. So it's really cool. It's it's surprisingly different from just playing a regular match. Because the mechanics are a little bit different. You're playing multiple games with the same deck, so you start to learn like kind of what your opponent's gonna do. So it took a little bit. I was getting crushed at first because I kept just getting I would do a move and they would immediately counter because they expected the move that was coming.
Okay.
So I had to. That's not something you would have in the regular game because you're one and done. You're playing one match and you're out. So this one, it definitely changes things up, but it was very interesting.
So I was looking into it and I read that detail, but I wasn't clear on. Does that mean that the game chooses the deck for you and you're both playing with the same deck against each other?
Nope, you're using
deck?
whatever deck you built. Yep, but some of them go well, and then. Playing against my friend, and I was like, okay, well, that deck destroyed this deck that I had. Let me try this one. So then I brought in a different deck, and we played another round, and I destroyed him. So it's it lacks that surprise element that the regular game has, where it's like you don't know what you're getting, know? So that's kind of fun. It makes for a much different experience. So, but yeah, I've been playing that. The new monthly season ends in a couple days, so I've been really trying to get all the battle passes and all that shit, like all that all the kind of the good stuff in there. So
and I saw they were doing some balancing updates too. Did they nerf your strategy or anything like that?
Actually, one of them they did. There weren't any huge changes. I think there were only 2 changes, and one of them was one of the main cards I use. He got nerfed big time. Yeah, and I didn't even think about it. I was playing in one of the games against my friend, and I was like, haha, got him. And I put down this card, and it didn't have the effect. So the card was leader, and he's supposed to just copy whatever your opponent puts down. And it didn't do it, and I'm like, what happened? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot, and I lost.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so it did affect what it only does now, the location to the right. So before it was all 3 locations, any card that came down. So it's definitely a pretty big nerf. But yeah, they announced like a bunch of. I mean, they didn't announce, but it's nice. There's a lot of people that see all the stuff that's upcoming. I don't know how. I don't know if they scrape like the data or whatever, but there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. So
yeah,
it's happening, dude. You got to get back in there.
Yeah,
Get
it
your
sounds
snap
exciting.
on.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move things along?
Yeah, we better get into it.
Let's do it. Let's talk about our new releases from last week. All right, first up, I want to talk about this Season game. It's called A Letter to the Future. Came out January 31st on PC, PS4, and PS5. Did you watch the trailer for this game?
Yeah, it's been a minute, though, so I'm going to have to pick it up from what you tell me.
Okay, I remember watching the trailer when it first was announced, like a long time ago, it seems. And then I was like, I thought it came out. It had come and gone. It doesn't tell you much in the trailer. But now that the game's out, I'm seeing more of what it is. So you play as this character, Estelle, and you ride around on a bike. And you're documenting the end of the world. Like the world is ending. So and you write journal entries and you draw pictures and you take pictures and you take video and stuff like that. And it's all part of this game. And every review I've read, they're saying how it's like this beautiful experience and the art style is awesome. And I was like, it's going right on the wish list, man. I remember when I first saw it, and I'm like, what's this weird bike riding game? Not for me. But then once I learned about it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
End of the world documenting. That's what I want to do in real life.
Yeah. Seems like you're into that kind of game where it's like a little more narrative driven, like the Telltale games maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I do. I like a good story. Like if they try to do it like a walking sim or like, whatever. If I'm doing it and there's no payoff, I get mad. Because if I'm playing, because some of them are boring, like you got to have a good story to go along with this. If there's no action or anything like that, and it's entirely a story game, there needs to be a good story. And from everything I've heard about this, there is. So yeah, I'm excited for it. All right, let's get the one I know you're chomping at the bit. Champing at the bit. What's the phrase? I don't even know. Something.
I don't know.
Chomping? All right. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake came out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. It also came out January 31st. It's a SpongeBob platformer. You're out there jumping around, collecting things. And what was your take? Let's hear the full clip review.
All right. Well, you got a lot farther in this than me that I saw from your review video.
Dude, we're trying to 100% it right now.
Well, there you go.
My kid loves it.
It's definitely one that I could pick back up. A lot of games I'll play through that first hour and a half or 2 hours, cut down a video with the initial reaction there. But this is one that I could definitely pick up because it does have, despite a few little glitches and bugs here and there, it has that level of polish that makes it feel like a really a fun game. I mean, the platforming is nice. It feels to me the same experience I had with Ratchet and Clank or something like that. A little bit of puzzle stuff here and there. I was surprised by how difficult some of the puzzle stuff was. I don't know if a 5 to 10-year-old child could figure that out. But I think in general they could at least get a steady playthrough of the game probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was right there in the so I played it with my 5-year-old, and he was able to do a lot of it. Because like you said, it's a simple platformer. There's not a ton of, it's not a lot happening. It's very cut and dry. Like, okay, you got to get point A to point B. In between, there's going to be these jelly creatures that come out and attack you. And it's that simple. There's not a lot of you compare it to Ratchet and Clank, but there's not a lot of different stuff. Like Ratchet and Clank, there's 40 different weapons and all this stuff. It's similar in that it's a platformer, you're jumping around collecting things. But to me, it was just missing some of that stuff that would have taken it to the next level. I thought it was a good game. So I put out a review of it, and in it I said it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game. It's just a simple platformer. If you're into platformers, collectathons, those sort of games, and you love SpongeBob, this is it. This is the game. I thought the SpongeBob parts were clever and the writing was good, but as far as you compare it to like Super Mario Odyssey or something like that, which is a very similar style game, and that's, blows it away. This doesn't hold a candle to a very, very a higher tier platformer.
Yeah.
But I had fun with it. Like I said, we finished the game. And now we're going back through trying. My kid loves, so there's all these costumes in the game, and you get coins to unlock parts of these costumes that you buy with these jellies, and that's what we're trying to do now. My kid wants all the costumes; he's got to have them all.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, and it's some of the platforming, man, to get like some of the coins. It's tough. Like there's a challenge for some of them, but yeah, I thought the game was fine, and especially if you're a fan of SpongeBob. It's got all the actors in there from the original cartoon, the writers from the cartoon. So, yeah, it was all right. It wasn't as good as an episode of SpongeBob, like, in terms of like that quality, but it had a good story, and I thought some of the writing was clever. So,
yeah. Definitely nothing groundbreaking, but fun, like you said. And I appreciated those deep cuts. Like Squidward was working on a painting, and I'm like, this should be Bold and Brash, because that was such a big episode. And it's got its own like internet history of the Bold and Brash painting of Squidward. And I looked at it, yep, sure enough. So there's a lot of fan service going on.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't watch a ton of SpongeBob. So I'm sure I missed a lot of like stuff that other people would be like, oh, he did the thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely, I enjoyed my time with it. It wasn't a game changer, but yeah, I had fun playing it. Another game I had fun playing, Fashion Police Squad. This came out February 2nd on PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. So we got our review copies of the SpongeBob game. I also got a review copy of this Fashion Police Squad, and man, was I surprised. Never, ever would I have purchased this game had I not gotten this review copy, and I love it, dude. It's
nice.
It's a retro first-person shooter. Think like Doom or Duke Nukem, like the early, like the pixel graphics and stuff like that. But in this, like, you're not like, it's not violent or anything. There's people like, guys with drab colors, so you got to like shoot at them and give them more colorful outfits, or this guy's suit is not tailored properly, so you got to use the tailor gun and trim it down. It's absurd. The whole time, like, you're yelling out, like, these catchphrases about, like, I don't know, like, fabulous and damn and, like, shit like that. It's the craziest game. There's, like, you have your belt of, I don't know what it is, but there's, like, belt that you have, and you, like, whack people with a belt, and then, like, at one point you get it like you just go around slapping people in the face because they're not dressing properly. Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I saw that. There's like a dude on a scooter who's wearing too much neon. He looks like
too much neon.
Got back from a Myrtle Beach vacation or something like that.
Yeah, you got to suck the color out and like chill him out a little bit. Like, dude, you can't be wearing neon. So, yeah, I was shocked at like how much fun it was. The humor in it is great. The gameplay, for as simple as it is, it has like, I don't know, it's just the flow of it. It's like it leads right into the next segment, and before you know it, you're playing like just a ton of this game. And it's I highly recommend Fashion Police Squad for anybody out there who wants something a little bit different, but and I think it's cheap. I think it's on sale right now, maybe like $15 or something like that, even less. I don't know how long it is, but yeah, it's an absurd game, and it's very fun. All right. Anything else to add? Did we miss anything?
No, I think that's all for the new releases.
All right. Let's get this. Let's get the main course ready. Nom, 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 nom. News of the week, baby. All right. So like I said, it's a little bit of a bummer news week. Lots of things happening. First off, let's talk about E3. So now E3, the the Electronics Entertainment Expo, was coming back this year. Its first physical event in 4 years, but we're finding out the big three will not be there. No Nintendo, no Xbox, no Sony at E3 this year. Now, so PlayStation, they stepped down in 2019. They stopped going. They did a separate event. So that wasn't a shocker. Nintendo, they usually have a direct that they do. It's part of E3, but they never have like a, they're not in the hall showing off stuff. But they always have a presence on the show floor. No longer. They're not there this year. And then Xbox, they decided they're just going to do their summer showcase that they've done previously, and they will not. They also won't have a presence at the actual E3 event. So, what I'm hearing Nintendo's is based on, it's the end of the Switch cycle, not a lot of big games coming out, and they're like, okay, so why are we going? That's fine, PlayStation, like I said, they do their own thing. They've done their own thing. They fell out with E3 and the board that runs E3 in 2019, so that's fine. Xbox was a big surprise. They actually had Phil Spencer said this about the event. E3 is just, to me, one of the seminal moments of gaming. I love the history of going down to LA, thousands of people there, getting to see great new things, getting to see people in the industry, the fans, the events we've had. I definitely want that to continue. Xbox is on the board of the ESA, and I think a successful and healthy ESA is critical to what we're trying to do. So we place our showcase like we always have done at a time where hopefully it's convenient for press and even consumers that are going to the E3 event. And that's what we're trying to do now. We will continue to work with ESA in terms of their plans. As I said, we're on the board and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make the E3 successful. So it kind of just seems like they're just doing their own thing. It's going to be at the same time as E3 so that all the journalists and stuff down there can still, go to their event. But they just are doing it separate from E3, which I don't know. It seems strange to me, especially if the other two aren't going to be there. You're the focus. They're on the board, like you said. I don't know. It seemed weird. But
Right, yeah. I don't know why this isn't a why not both situation. I mean, it's one thing to have your own event so you can get that on stage part on your own terms, take as much time as you want, and you control the narrative. But to have a presence on the floor seems like a worthwhile investment, especially like I understand the whole we're at the end of the Switch cycle, not a lot coming up for Nintendo, but when it comes to Sony, we have the PlayStation VR 2. We have their new adaptive controllers. This is stuff that should be on the floor in front of people so people can get some hands-on. Like, I think, didn't you say you tried a demo of the first one, and that's the reason you bought it?
Absolutely. Yep, I agree. And, I think they do. I forget what their event is called whenever they do have them. They haven't had one in a long time, since COVID and that sort of thing. PlayStation. They used to have their PlayStation... I don't know what they were called, but they would have a showcase and people could come try stuff. So maybe they'll do something like that outside of E3. I don't know what their issue was with the ESA, the board. Something where they're like, all right, F you, I'm out. So, but yeah, it was definitely the Xbox One. It was very surprising, especially since we got Starfield and these big games coming out and they're just okay, they're not going to be there. They're going to do their own thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this means for E3. There was, so here's another quote I want to read. So, ESA, the board that runs E3, they hired Reed Pop. Now, they're known for doing their, doing events. They do PAX, Comic-Con, they do all these big events, and they do a really good job of organizing them and making sure everything's, what everybody wants. So they put out a statement regarding E3, and it is this. E3 is such a significant event for the game industry, and being entrusted with an important cultural touchstone is not a responsibility ReedPop takes lightly. Since ReedPop took on the contract to run E3 6 months ago, we've worked diligently with ESA members based on their feedback to create a new type of E3 that supports their goals and needs. This process has taken time due to the tremendous amount of stakeholders offering input, though we appreciate that we could have been more transparent to questions for which we were still finalizing the answers. We continue to work tirelessly to create a show that brings together the global gaming industry. We believe we've created a new format for the event that serves the needs of both the industry and its fans, and are committed to building and growing it in the coming years. As we spent much of 2022 refining how E3 2023 would take shape, reflecting on the feedback we solicited, we did not send a single contract to an exhibitor until the start of this month. We have received a tremendous amount of interest and verbal commitments from many of the biggest companies in the industry. And when we are ready to announce the exhibitors, we are confident it will be a lineup that will make the trip to Los Angeles well worth it for the industry and consumers alike. So, so they're saying that everything's, everything's good to go. And, it's going to be an event still worth checking out. Now, of course, they're organizing it. They're going to say that. But on this IGN article, someone said it was a source close to E3. They said that this is not entirely true. They said the quote is, "There's not a good sense that there's an understanding what this show is going to be or how it will come together, which is strange from a company that does such an amazing job with PAX twice a year. It seemed like they'd be the perfect shepherds for something like E3. So who knows where the issue is? Is it an ESA issue? Is it a Reed Pop issue? But there seems to be a lot of genuine interest from game publishers in the concept of E3, but it's really frustrating that we don't have good solutions." So they said the information flow hasn't been great. That the announcement that they were like just now reaching out to people is not like true. They're like, who's going to be at this event that's like not that far away? So yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I always look forward to E3 every year, man, and it doesn't change. I mean, there's still going to be lots of big announcements. I'm sure we'll still get announcements from the big three. They just won't be there. Yeah. Which is fine because I'm not going to be there either. So
yeah, I mean, the industry's big enough that they probably don't even need to be there for this to be a huge event.
Yeah. So we've talked about it in the past about how these type of events, like, are they dead? In a post-COVID world where everything is digital, and we everything was fine digital during those times. We got a lot more information and still continue to do so. Is there a need for these big, events? So I don't know. From a publishing standpoint inside the world of video games, where, it's a trade event for them. You're meeting people, you're talking games and showcasing stuff. That's still, a big part of E3. As far as the announcement side, our side, the press side, digital is, it's the way to go. You don't need to be there to get the information. The hands-on stuff, that's nice. Everybody loves going and playing the game, but, I don't know. But we'll see. June 13th through 16th will be E3, and we're going to talk all about it, I'm sure, from now up until that date. And then even long after it. So keep it locked on. How does that work? If you're on, you just never leave our YouTube channel. Is that how it works? Just keep it here.
Play our videos on repeat.
Yeah.
Play the playlist so that we get all the views, please.
I think that's a good idea. All right. All right. Let's move along. Let's talk about PlayStation Plus for a little bit. They announced the games for PlayStation Plus for February. They are Ollie Ollie World for PS4 and PS5, Mafia Definitive Edition for PS4, Evil Dead the Game for PS4 and PS5, and Destiny 2 Beyond Light for PS4 and PS5. So, good lineup of games. Ollie Ollie World, that's a skateboarding action platformer that lets players traverse a wild and wacky, colorful world on a skateboard. So, that one, I've played an Ollie Ollie game before. It's fun. It's not as detailed as like a Tony Hawk or whatever, but still a great game. Mafia Definitive Edition is it goes back to 1930s America, and you're doing mafia stuff. Everybody loves the mafia. And then Evil Dead the Game, it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game where you're playing with characters from the Evil Dead franchise. And some people are they're just trying to survive, other people are like the Deadites or whatever, and it's a lot of fun. I kind of forgot about that one, and I want to get back to that. So hopefully, now that it's on PlayStation Plus, we'll see like a big burst of player base on that bad boy. And then Destiny 2 Beyond Light, that's like an expansion to Destiny 2, which is still, to me, surprising that it is still cruising right along.
Yeah. Considering where it came from, where it was never really expected to be like a live service game that was going to last forever or ever be a free-to-play game.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with that game. Great job with that game. I haven't played it. In fact, I even thought, I was like, okay, if I'm getting this Beyond Light thing, maybe I'll check it out. I'm sure I'm like way behind in like in terms of like the ability to do stuff and the power I have and stuff. So I don't know. I might check it out. I thought the gameplay for the Destiny games, some of the best gameplay I've ever played. So, any of those you excited for?
I could see getting back into Destiny too if I had access to this.
Yeah. Did you ever play the Mafia games?
No, I watched a lot of Mafia 3 though.
Yeah, I have. I think I bought Mafia Definitive Edition. I have Mafia 3 that I got in the PlayStation Plus thing. Never played any of them. And I love Mafia stuff, dude. Like Goodfellas, like one of my favorite movies, Godfather. So I think I'll have to check it out. See how it is. It's probably going to be pretty violent, right?
Probably.
Mafia. And then real quick, the PlayStation Plus collection, they did announce that it is being removed. Now, this is the collection that came out in 2020, like right when COVID was a thing, and they're like, okay, well, don't leave your house, just stay home, play these games, and it was dope. If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber and you had a PlayStation 5, which is what this was for, you just had this huge collection of games: Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit, God of War, Infamous, Ratchet and Clank, Batman, like tons of great games in there, and they're now removing it. I don't know why. They didn't say why, but you have until May 9th, if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, to go add those games to your library. They'll be yours as long as you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. But yeah, definitely get them. Dope games. Yeah, Uncharted 4, games. I think. Yeah. Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat, like lots of great games.
Yeah.
So,
anybody who hasn't played Fallout 4, Battlefield 1, I would say pick those up immediately and try them.
I've never played Battlefield 1. It's good?
It's good. I mean, even to this day, it looks amazing.
Now, it has a campaign, or is it just multiplayer?
I think there is a campaign. It's been a while, though. Like 2014, 2016, somewhere in there.
Do you think the multiplayer is still active, the Battlefield 1?
I think so. Battlefield, cool. I mean, they're not like a yearly title like COD, so I think they do last quite a bit longer.
Because I've seen people say, like, I think recently people are like, yo, Battlefield 1 is like an amazing game, and check it out. And I tried that new Battlefield, whatever, that 2023 or something, and I didn't like it at all. So I was like, all right, I should go back and try Battlefield 1 that everybody raves about.
Or Battlefield 5, it's a good option too. It's just World War II.
Okay. Cool. All right, so now is where we get into the real bummersville of this here Gaming News Weekly episode. First up, so Rumbleverse. You remember this Rumbleverse game, the wrestling battle royale game? Came out August 2022. It's already being shut down. February 28th, it's coming to an end. So now this is the guys, Epic. Epic Games are like, hey, Fortnite. You ever heard of Fortnite? We do great with that. Let's do another one. And they made Rumbleverse, and I was super excited for it for such a long time. It came out, I played it a bunch of times. I'm like, I could get the hang of this. It was it had a steep learning curve. And I just never went back to it. And now, I'm sad that I never did. I never really got to experience it because, February 28th, only a few more weeks. Servers will go offline. They are refunding any purchases made since launch, so that's stand-up Epic Games doing that, And, that's about it. You ever play the Rumbleverse game?
So, like you, I was very excited about this before it came out. I had so much as downloaded it and had it ready to play for months and just never touched it. So I guess I'm part of the problem. My bad.
No, it's true, man. Like, there's just so much out there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like every week we're talking about another one of these, free to play battle royale or games of service that are
Mhm.
just being shut down. They're just, we're seeing a lot in the industry. We've been talking about layoffs a lot, and the whole industry is being affected, and they got to start making cuts where they can. So unfortunately, Epic Games thought it was okay to cut Rumbleverse less than 6 months after it came out. But sucks to people that were really into the game. But sure, there's going to be another one that pops up in a couple weeks that will get mediocre attention, and then we'll move on from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of that, it doesn't stop there. Knockout City, the team dodgeball third-person shooter game, is also being shut down. This one not until June 6th. So for this one, the people behind Knockout City, they put out a whole blog post. And if you're a fan of this game, I definitely suggest you go read it, because they still have a ton planned for Knockout City. So here, let's see. They said today they're announcing that Season 9 will be Knockout City's final season. Then on June 6th, over 2 years after our initial launch, all servers around the world will be shut down and the game will no longer be playable. Is an extremely difficult decision for us, but a necessary and important one for our studio. It says, before that happens, there are a ton of new updates in store. We've got a jam-packed Season 9 full of all the amazing new content you've come to expect, an epic send-off both in and out of the game, and even a private server version on PC so Knockout City can live forever. So, go check out the blog. They talk about why they're deciding to shut this down. They said, since we are a small indie studio, it's simply impossible for us to make the kinds of systemic changes to the live game while continuing to support it. So it became clear to us that we needed to take a step back and pave the way for them to do what they do best by innovating. And they said, now we can take everything we learned, everything that succeeded and everything that needs improvement, and get to work on exploring new possible experiences for Knockout City and other games and products we are very excited about. So, yeah, it's just, they're a small indie studio. They put out this game, and it did maybe better than they expected. I don't know. But, yeah, 2 years, tons of cosmetics, tons of, events in the game. Did you ever play this one?
I played it just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, this one, I had a lot of fun with, but I can never find, none of my friends wanted to play. It was really hard to find someone to play with. But I thought, as far as it's basically it's a shooter, but you got to pick up dodgeballs, and whack them at people. And I thought it was a really great game. So it's cool to see that they are creating this PC game. So the PC game that they're creating is going to be kind of a separate game, because it's going to have player hosted servers. So if you're out there and you want to host a game and play this game, then it will live on for those people. So I thought that was a really cool way to do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was almost more surprised, even though this is a small indie developer versus Epic. Between these two games shutting down, I'm more surprised about this one, because I saw this get a lot more attention and videos out there, gameplay, and it looked a lot more fun to me personally.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised to see it go. And I don't fully buy the explanation there of the feel good story of we're gonna just take what we learned and go with it. There's one good reason to shut a game like this down, and that's if it's not profitable. You're not seeing the players spending money. But I hope for the best. Hopefully they do come out with something, because obviously they're capable of making great games.
Yeah, exactly. And use it as, a learning experience, and make something, because the idea, a brand new, for one, a brand new IP with an entirely new gameplay style, where it's never been done before. So right there, ballsy move for that studio to put this out, and they supported it really well. It's unfortunate that it has to end, but well, that's not it. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's focus on EA and their problems. So another game coming to an end, Apex Legends Mobile. Now this one made it a whole 8 months after its launch before they're shutting it down. May 1st, they're shutting it down. They said in a tweet, we have made the painful decision to sunset Apex Legends Mobile. This decision does not come with ease. Factors beyond our control have prevented us from maintaining the high-quality experience and content that our players deserve. As a result, the game will sunset May 1st, 2023, after which it will no longer be playable. Our gratitude to our players and teams for joining us on Apex Legends Mobile, even if for a short while, is unending. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. So that comes from Respawn and EA. So was this a surprise to you?
That kind of is because of the size of Apex, but
Right?
also I didn't even know there was a mobile version of it. It's not that surprising because Fortnite has one, PUBG has one, I think even Warzone has one.
Yeah, but, I remember talking, the lead up to this, everybody was super hyped for it, you know, and then it came out, and yeah, it just must not have done what they were hoping. But I know a big problem with this is that EA recently also announced that they had some layoffs within their company, and some whole divisions got shut down. And I think the mobile division, or at least the ones creating this game, were highly affected by that because they were working on a Battlefield mobile game that was in development, and they also canceled that. So, yeah. It's funny how we talk. I mean, one week we're talking about all these studios focusing on these mobile games. You know, there's so much money. There's so much money in mobile. And now we're seeing they're the first to go, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. You got it, you see the ones that are making all the money and they're hitting on something big. You got to what's going to be the next Candy Crush or something, you know? That's what everybody wants to be. Or Call of Duty. I think the Call of Duty mobile one, I think they do a good job too, as far as making money and stuff like that. So, one thing I did read about, so this Apex Legends mobile, 8 months after launch, they're closing it, no refunds. I think that's kind of shitty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, your game hasn't even been out a full year, and like people are just getting into it, just trying to support it, and like they're not going to do anything for them.
Yeah. Well, I do wonder if there's some like cross progression or carryover of the items that you bought with the console version or PC version of that.
Yeah, I want to say no. I think I remember reading that it was an entirely separate thing. I don't know. I could just be talking to my ass, but which is normal here on this show. But yeah, so I don't know. That's got to be it, right? There's can't be anything else that EA canceled or changed. No,
nothing big that is just a continuation of one of my top 3 gripes of my life in gaming.
Man! So what a roller coaster ride you were on when you heard that there was a secret Apex Legends game that was in development by EA, and then you read further on in that sentence and said that it was canceled.
Well, the fact that it was a Titanfall project, because the two are in a shared universe.
Mm-hmm.
Titanfall was the inspiration, which turned into Apex Legends. And I could go for Titans in Apex Legends, but they chose not to go that way. But this was supposed to be like a single player experience somewhere in between. Maybe it would be the bridge between the Apex Legends games that happened in the past before the war. I think that's the order things go in.
Yeah,
because Titanfall is in the future of that or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or maybe it's the opposite. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But it even had the codename Titanfall Legends. So it was going to be like something kind of a mix of the two. But when I saw it was a single player game, that I was like, come on, that would have been dope. Because Titanfall 2 is such a great game.
Yeah, both were, but it's just that EA couldn't get their shit together on either of them. So Titanfall 2, they botched their own launch. They put it right there the same weekend as Battlefield 1, and it suffered for it. And people knew that this was probably going to lead to no Titanfall 3, no more Titanfall projects. And here we are, the next one we've ever heard of that we didn't even hear of until this happened, canceled.
Yep. Yeah, it was a bummer because, I've got... When those games came out, I got Titanfall right at release, Titanfall 2, and I loved it, dude. The campaign, amazing. The multiplayer, so much fun. It was just such a great game. But yeah, it's a bummer. In fact, I just saw, I don't know if it's still on sale, but I almost bought Titanfall 2 on Steam. It was on sale for like $3. I think I'm going to go do if it's still on sale, I'm going to do it after here. Because, yeah, I want to do that again. I want to get in a mech again.
Yes, it's so satisfying.
So great, yeah.
Just like the animations in that game of being picked up and put into the chest of the mech.
Yep. Yeah, and then it moves so well too. So yeah, great game. Real big bummer that that got canceled. And then of course, yeah, that's it. You know, they didn't. That's all EA. They're like, all right, let's take this hatchet. Let's chop off all this shit.
Yeah.
But no. Sorry, full clip. That is not it. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, not canceled, not shut down, but just delayed. So they moved it back a bit to April 28th instead of March 17th. So they said, for the last 3 years, the Jedi team here at Respawn has poured its collective heart and soul into Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And we are proud to say the next chapter in the tale of Cal Kestis is content complete. We are now focused entirely on the final stage, bug fixes to enhance performance, stability, polish, and most importantly, the player experience. In order for the team to hit the Respawn quality bar, provide the team the time they need, and achieve the level of polish our fans deserve, we have added 6 crucial weeks to our release schedule. So that one I could get behind. You and I always talk about it.
Yeah.
Push a game back a couple months instead of releasing a buggy game, because it's going to turn people off. It's going to, drop review scores, lower the player base. Because even if they offer a patch somewhere down the line, those review scores are already out there. People, word of mouth is already started. So, yeah, fuck those patches that come out to fix things. Fix it before the release.
Yeah, and this is a different situation, at least in my mind, than Skull and Bones, where they have pushed that off for years because they realized they had a turd on their hands and they needed to change it completely. This is also we're gonna get the fixes before the day one launch, but we're also going to avoid the crunch on the developers, which we hear so much about, and it's just it's not good business. So that's a positive.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the I mean, it sucks that it's delayed for people that were super hyped for this game coming out, but it's a good thing that, they care enough that they're going to focus on getting it, doing it right, and putting out a good game, hopefully.
Gosh. So, do you think EA is going to make it?
Dude, man, I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be just fine. I was thinking of an analogy for this earlier when it came to like the canceled projects and things. I'm thinking like if you were a real estate developer and you're looking at your quarterly profits and it's like, oh, these numbers aren't where they need to be. We need to come up with some money. We better go demolish those buildings we're working on that we're building for those clients. Yeah. That's what it seems like.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's definitely, it's got to be tough. And I do think, the layoffs that they just did, I think they just, focused. They're like, okay, well, this mobile division, out the door. But, I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. It's always fun to shit on EA. And, ever since they were, like, the leaders in microtransaction stuff. But, it's sad to see them kind of struggling here, and hopefully Star Wars Jedi, whatever it's called, Fallen Order, Survivor, which one's the one coming out, which one's not. Anyways, hopefully that is a great game and turns things around for him.
Yeah, I hope so.
I always get to Fallen Order is the first one, right? Survivor is the new one. Yeah,
that'll be the one coming out.
Yeah. Just make it different. Enough with this Star Wars Jedi : shit. I want a whole new game. Star Wars Party. Bam. There we go. Done.
Star Wars Wii Amiibo Party.
Yeah. Star War 3. Yeah. We'll break down all the wars and just have each one. Like, you don't call it like, it wasn't like World Wars 1, right? Star War.
There we go. Star Wars versus Star Trek. That's the game I want.
Ooh, that would be a good game. I feel like Star Wars would win that, though, because they have superpowers, right?
It's the mitochlorides or whatever. something like that.
Now we're talking science, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
midichlorians, something like that. That's
yeah,
the microbes behind the Force. So maybe the Star Trek people could figure out like a disinfectant spray.
Oh shit! Yeah, Data. He could do that, or the other Klingon guy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. While we're talking about Star Trek and Star Wars and TV shows and stuff like that, Amazon, they have a TV thing. That was the best segue I probably have ever done. That's all right. We're just gonna cut all that part out and make me sound real cool. Amazon has reportedly bought the rights to the Tomb Raider franchise. This is entirely rumors from some source, but I wanted to add it in case it's true. Then we're on the leading edge. $600 million. What do you think of this?
That's a lot of money. That's what I think. I don't know if it's worth
Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, considering how they just kind of bought the rights to that not that long ago for half of that price.
Embracer, yeah. So Embracer had it. They just bought it for, I don't know how much, but they, here, 300 million. Yeah, you're right. And now they're selling it for 600 million to Amazon. And like Tomb Raider's never really blown anybody away. There's been a bunch of Tomb Raider movies. You had the Angelina Jolie one, the most recent one with that, I don't know what that woman's name is. And then the games, like the newer games, have been good, decent. I don't think they're moving like tons of units, but yeah, 600 mil, dude. So what I did here is that Amazon announced that they are publishing the next Tomb Raider game, and then they also announced that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she's from Fleabag and stuff like that. She is making a script for a Prime Video Tomb Raider series, and so they're invested. So I guess it makes sense to buy the IP entirely. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I want to know about the game projects that might be coming out too now that Amazon Studios is a thing. And they did New World and a couple other games, but I mean, nothing really notable. So having a huge IP like this might be a game changer for them.
Yeah. Well, they did just buy Lord of the Rings not too long ago, remember? So yeah, I don't know. Jeff Bezos, dude, he doesn't know what to do with his money. He's just buying shit that he likes. He's like, I like Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't know. I would like to see a good Tomb Raider series. It's always just been like Lady Indiana Jones, really.
Yeah,
right?
Movies and
so I'm here for it.
Yeah, I assume that they want to give this what's that new show everybody's talking about with the zombies?
Oh, The Last of Us.
I assume that they want to make some investments that are going to come out with a series like that, bring people over to Amazon Prime.
Yep. Yeah, did you watch the Amazon Lord of the Rings series?
No.
It's good. It's I don't know. I expected more considering like their budget and how much they spent on it was like $46 trillion. That's a real number.
Oh yeah.
All right. Are we done? Did we cover everything?
We covered all the news. We got one more thing we got to cover real quick, though.
Oh, tell me what it is.
What's your take on the big game coming up?
I just want Kansas City to lose. That's all I ever want.
I kind of want them to win.
I'm sick of them.
Well, they're the ones that beat my team, so
that's true. That's a good point.
By extension, you could do the same thing.
Yeah. I initially wanted Cincinnati to win the whole thing, and then that didn't happen. Now I just want Kansas City to lose. So I'm sick of Mahomes. I'm sick of them winning everything all the time. Yeah. So it's time for someone new. So yeah, we'll see. You doing anything for the game?
Nah, nothing much big. Got to get a cracker tray or something at least. Though.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just an excuse to just eat like a ton of garbage food and drink beer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it'll be good. I've been trying to like cut back on some of that stuff, beer and stuff like that. That's why I'm drinking the kombucha. But we'll see. So I'm just gonna rage that night.
Oh yeah.
Just yell at my TV, yell at Patrick Mahomes through my television. All right, this has been an amazing episode, if you ask me. of Gaming News Weekly. We talked about all the biggest cancellations happening in the world. That was it. We should call this one the cancellation episode. But yeah, my name is E-Rock the Red. This is Full Clip. You can find our gaming clips and that sort of stuff over on Fruit Lab. Check it out over there. Great site. You can earn pips, get gift cards, and buy video games. It's the circle of life, if you ask me. But if you're too cool for that, go to YouTube. I'm at Pop Culture Playground. Full Clip is at GameFAQs, GameFAX. He's also on Twitch, FullClip_FL. And then check out the podcast version of our show, Gaming News Weekly. You just type in GNW, anywhere podcasts are available, and you'll find this show. You listen to us on the go, cry in your car about Apex Legends secret game coming to an end. That's what I did anyways. And then, check us out on TikTok. We're putting out all the clips that are the best, the juicy bits, putting out there on the old TikToks. And that's all the plugs I got. You got anything else?
Nothing else.
All right, thanks so much. We will see you back here next week with more Gaming News Weekly.